All right, let's talk about acid-base balance. The most important thing you have to do is memorize the normal values. And anytime you are going to take a test or do anything where you might need to solve acid-base balance problems, write this down first. Even if you know it really well, just write it down. It'll make your life easier. So we are going to start with pH. pH is 7.35 to 7.45. There's a couple ways to remember this. So you can think lucky number 7 and then 3.5 to 4.5. Or you can think, okay, nursing school, my blood is mostly made of coffee, and now, thanks to inflation, coffee costs between $7.35 and $7.45. It's $7 for a coffee right now. So just try to commit that to memory. For CO2, we're just going to drop the 7. 35 to 45. So the 7 doesn't come with us. The 7 goes to heaven, but we still got 35 to 45 for our CO2. And when you make your chart, remember pH is first, CO2 is second, and bicarb is third. So if you can't remember which one drops to the 35 and 45 in your little chart, CO2 is second, do bicarb third. Now, bicarb, this is our base. Okay, so if you are a basic bitch like me, you probably listen to Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift is feeling 22. Okay, but you might actually be 26. That's okay though. Now, just try to remember this. Basic, Taylor Swift, I don't know about you, but she's feeling 22. And then the range is 22 to 26. However, you can commit this to memory. Maybe you're a basic bitch if you're in the age range of 22 to 26. If you draw your 2s like mine, it kind of looks like a backwards 6. But just remembering it starts at 22 and goes to 26. Memorize this and write it down every time at the beginning. So we know that bicarb is our base, CO2 is our acid, and we have our pH. So how do we know which side is which? Which side of the pH is acidic, which side is basic? So if your pH, let me get a different color here. If your pH is less than 7.35, it's acidic. And if it is, let me use purple, more than 7.45, it's basic. How are we going to remember this? Well, this is coffee. This is the price of coffee. If you're a basic bitch, maybe you're getting some oat milk in your coffee. They're going to charge you an extra $1 for that, an extra 50 cents. So it is going to go higher than 7.45. You're going to pay more than $7.45 for your coffee because you're basic and you're getting the extra caramel, the oat milk, whatever. Now, if you're spending less money on your coffee, it might not taste as good and it might be a little too acidic. So if you're getting cheap coffee that costs less than $7.35, which I know this is outrageous, these coffees are expensive regardless, but if you're spending less money than that, your coffee might taste too acidic. So that's how we're going to try and remember it. I know it's silly, but you just got to do what works. So these next two. Oh, I erased the 6. Hang on. Sorry, it's a touch screen. Boop. So CO2, that is our acid. So just think about it. If you have more, so if your CO2 is high, it's acidic. And if you have less, it's basic because it's an acid. So more of something, more acidic, less of the acid, less acidic. Same with your base. If you have more of your base, it's going to be more basic. And if you have less of your base, it's going to be more acidic. So on your chart, A, B, A, B, A, B. Over here on the left where it's acidic, we have ABA. And over here on the right where it's basic, we have BAB. B for basic, A acidic. Okay. BAB, ABA. Write this out. It will make your life easier. Memorize this, practice writing it down. You have to know this. If you know this, you're going to be able to solve problems so easily. So let's do a practice problem. Let's say our pH is 7.29 and our CO2 is, let's say it's 47, and our bicarb is 24. All right, we have our problem, and guess what? We have our answer key up here because we wrote it out. So now all we have to do is match it. So 7.29, is that normal? No, it's low. So since it's low, it goes down. We know it's acidic. So this is low. Draw your little arrow. So that's acidic. CO2, is that normal? So let's look at our cheat sheet. Nope, it's high. And what did we draw out? High, acidic. Bicarb is 24, is that normal? Yep, that's normal. So looking at this, we know we have acidosis, right? Because our pH is low. Now, is it respiratory or metabolic? CO2 should be easy to remember. That's respiratory. Your lungs, you breathe out CO2. Bicarb, that's your kidneys. So that's your metabolic. So we know that because our CO2 is high, we have respiratory acidosis. Now, what are some things that can cause respiratory acidosis? Just think about it. What would make your CO2 too high if your lungs control it? Slow breathing. So, what are some things that can cause that? Sleep apnea is one of them. Poor gas exchange. Maybe your lungs aren't working how they're supposed to be working, so your CO2 is building up and it's too high. Or something that's more common now, a CNS depressant. Maybe they took too much fentanyl and their breathing has been slowing down or stopping, or alcohol intoxication. So a CNS depressant can cause that. That is a possible influx question. So, okay, let's do another example. And these are basic examples. Okay. So now let's say your pH is 7.5. Your CO2 is 37. And your bicarb, let's say it's 29. So let's look at our pH. Is that normal? No, it's high. So that's basic. And then our CO2 is 37. Is that normal? Yes. That's good. Lungs are doing their job. Bicarb, 29. Is that normal? No. It's high, which means it's basic. So these match. We know the problem is metabolic, and we're not in acidosis because we have too much base. So we are in metabolic alkalosis. My handwriting is bad, I'm sorry. So what are some conditions that can cause metabolic alkalosis? Getting rid of too much acid. So something like vomiting. Vomiting out that stomach acid can result in some metabolic alkalosis. And G-suctioning too. Anything that gets rid of, the acid can result in an environment that's too basic. So